secret side of me I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it.
Hi, Father Time.
Hi,
So
how are
glad you
you?
could join us today.
I'm not sure if I'm so glad.
Well, my name's Yvette Jackson, and I am an MSW student at Boise State University. And I'm interested in hearing what brings you in today.
Okay, well, first off, refer to me as, I don't care, you can refer to me as Bill, Bob, Jack,
Okay?
Eric, whatever you want. I'm not Father Time today. We don't have therapists where I come from, and so in order to see a therapist, had to sneak out and come down here, and this is my disguise.
I see. So anonymity is very important to you today.
Yeah, I'm a little anxious about it. Even just coming in the door, you know, I mean, if Chris Kringle knew that I was here, it'd be a major stigma.
Well, I want you to know and understand that everything that you tell me and that we talk about today is completely confidential. It won't leave the office, and unless...
Even if he threatens to put you on the naughty list?
Well, even if he threatens that. However, I do want to remind you that if you disclose to me anything of homicidal or suicidal nature, or something involving a child, such as endangerment or abuse, I will need to report that.
Well, good, right?
I'm
You should.
Obligated to do that. But
Good.
Otherwise, our discussions here will just remain between us.
Okay.
I'm really glad, though, that you were able to take the step today and the courage to come in and talk with me a little bit. And I don't want to take up a lot of your time. So obviously, let's start with just having you tell me a little bit about what's been going on and what brought you in.
I don't have time.
You don't have time.
I mean, literally, I don't have time. Isn't that funny? Me, Father Time, I don't have enough time. And I'm not feeling so great about that.
You're not feeling good about it. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you would like to establish more time for yourself.
Yes, more time for myself, but more time to get what I need done. You know what it is? It's this blasted technology that you people are, getting into. I mean, before, back in the day, someone would get up when the sun rose and they would start quieting down when the sun set. And now people are running around all night long. They're running around during the day. You guys have got those cell calculators stuck to your ear, and you're constantly, checking your email, and nobody appreciates time anymore.
So what have you been doing so far to try to manage these feelings?
Well, I've just been I really haven't been. I've been taking it out on my wife, Mother Nature.
Okay.
She seems to have plenty of time to do whatever she wants to do. And see, even now, I don't have time for this session.
Well, I want to ask you something that might sound a little strange. So if you went home today and you went to sleep and you woke up tomorrow, and let's just suppose that while you were sleeping, a miracle happened. And you woke up tomorrow and the problems of time were no longer an issue for you. Now, you don't know that this has happened because you were sleeping. But once you awake, you realize that something is different.
Okay.
So how would your wife, Mother Nature, maybe, recognize that something was different?
Well, I think the first thing would be, she would recognize that I was no longer bothering her about the issue that Chris keeps bothering me about. I'll tell you what, him and this Christmas holiday, he's telling me he doesn't have enough time now to be able to get everything done that he needs to get done. And he wants me to change the number of hours in a night. He wants me to give him another 12 hours in a night so that he can now hit all the areas. I think it has something to do with China. They've got such a large skyrocketing population right now. And well, anyway, and maybe we're going to hit another baby boomer craze, like we did when all the troops came back. Well, now that we got all the troops come back, maybe we're going to do the same thing. But I told Chris, look, I can't alter the number of hours. It's not right. People need to appreciate the sense of time that they have.
Okay. So you brought up Chris Kringle. So if the miracle happened to you, what would be different? What would Chris notice about you? What would he think about? How would he discover that this happened?
Well, he'd be able to deliver all the presents in the same night, and he'd be happy, and I'd be happy, because I wouldn't have to give him any more time. I mean, come on, 24 hours is an awful lot of time. People should be able to do what they want in 24 hours. But I think that, it's really funny that I'm not able to have enough time to do what I want to do, because people are they're constantly going. No one's appreciating it, and when people appreciated it, that's when I rested. Now I'm going. You know what it is? It's two things. When I say I don't have time to relax. Okay. And then people are bothering me about wanting more time.
That must be very difficult.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, it makes me feel like they're ungrateful for the amount of time that I've given them.
Okay, all right. So, when can you remember, can you think of a time when things were good? When things weren't as bad as far as time management, or you felt not so frustrated about the lack of time?
The lack of time. Well, I suppose you'd have to go back a couple of centuries. And you'd have to go back to a time, again, before electricity, where people weren't as technological advanced, and they just enjoyed themselves throughout the day.
Okay.
I mean, time's a gift. It's a gift.
So, a couple of centuries ago, we didn't have all the electricity and all of the gadgets. And
yeah, give or take.
Yeah. So, how about something more recent? Now that we have the electric gadgets, can you think of a certain day or time frame that maybe it wasn't quite as busy, whether it was a weekend or in the middle of the night?
I think probably if we went back 13 years to the beginning, the turn of the century, I don't think it was as busy then. In my recollection, cell phones weren't that popular, at least not the way that they're linked to people's hips and stuff like that now. I think, well, maybe even, we might even go back to like 1995 or something, where people, they just enjoyed themselves. And tell you, that blasted Kris Kringle was not knocking on my door asking me for more time to be able to deliver his presence. You know, and Harry Hanukkah, he seems, they're ganging up on me now.
They're ganging up.
Harry Hanukkah wants time to be able to deliver his presence. And his time prep, he's not asking me for another 12 hours. He's asking me for another week. The man wants another week.
Another week.
They want to alter nature as we know it. And of course, when I talk to Mother Nature about this, she's not for it at all.
She's not. So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're struggling with gaining support on a personal level.
Mother Nature won't listen to me. She just tells it she's got all the time she wants, and she's just going out doing her own thing. You know, at one point in time, she used to really enjoy spending time with me, and now we seem to just be passing each other in time.
Yeah, I see. So if the miracle happened and you were able to wake up tomorrow and have things be different, what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 would be the most important to you?
That blasted Kris Kringle and Harry Hanukkah stopped bothering me. And then maybe I wouldn't be bothering Mother Nature as much.
Okay.
And I'd be able to sit down and have a cup of cocoa and wear the wool slippers that she knitted for me by the fireplace, and we could just enjoy some time together.
Okay. Okay. So if I gave you some homework today to go home and think about some options that you might have regarding choices of how to handle certain confrontations, would you be interested in that?
I don't have time for homework. I don't have time. We've got to. I've only got 20 minutes left in this session. It's the only time that I could fit in, and I've got to figure out a solution now.
You've got to still figure it out now.
I was told that you specialize in this type of thing so that you could help me figure something out now.
Okay. Well, let's look at our options. You have mentioned that there are 2 individuals, Harry Hanukkah and Kris Kringle.
Don't get me started on Jack Frost.
Oh, yeah, we'll leave him out.
He's
demanding more.
he's just mischievous. He's actually making it colder on the nights that they're trying to deliver.
I see.
That Kris wants to deliver presents so that the sleigh won't actually stay on top of the house. It just slides right off because of the ice.
Okay. So, would it be possible for you to discuss with Kris and Harry some options that might be helpful to you to gain some support that you need?
Well, what we need is we need to figure out how to get more time for these 2 individuals that want to do these things at 2 separate times. We either need to figure out more time, or we need to get them more help or something to be able. And I tell you,
So you mentioned a time at the turn of the century when things were a little slower, the pace was a little slower, that people seemed more relaxed and not as worried about time. Perhaps you could utilize that perspective to discuss with Chris and Harry the options of sharing some responsibilities, such as extending Christmas Eve. Lots of families celebrate Christmas Eve rather than Christmas. Perhaps that would be an option for Chris to review parts of the world that focus on Christmas Eve and extend that part for him for his delivery, so he might feel he could get it done.
And then Harry, that's an idea, Doc. What if I could get Harry and Chris to work together?
I think that I think that's an excellent approach. Certainly opening those lines of communication with them to discuss options might provide even more brainstorming as to a solution for this, which in turn might, be extended to Mother Nature as well, perhaps.
I feel a lot better, Doc.
That's really good. I'm glad that we have decided on some options for you. What I'd like you to do is go home and try some of these things. And when we do our follow-up appointment, we will talk about, on that scale of 1 to 10, how some of these things worked for you, and if you found that was an appropriate course. So that if there's some things that we need to develop over the course of our time here, we can do that in a way that will be more beneficial to you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, great.